Hello everyone. So today we will be solving this problem. This is the third problem of this contest, weekly contest 497. And the problem goes like the longest balance substring after one swap. So it is marked as medium, but trust me, it is one of the best problems you will ever see in the third, at least one of the best problems of the third problem in contest. Let's read the problem statement. I hope you have tried it many a times, but you have failed. I have also failed it many a times. And after that, I have a solution which will work in big of n, and that too without using any external maps or like prefix some any. We won't be using those things, right? I will try to keep it as simple as possible. The problem is a bit difficult. Before the problem starts, let's look at a quote which I have brought it for you today. So it says like, consult not your fears but your hopes and your dreams. Think not about your frustrations, but about your unfulfilled potential. Concern yourself not with what you tried and failed in, but what is still possible to do, right? So it is something that you should always practice in life, that what can you achieve, right? What can you achieve should always be your dream, not what has been left or you is not in your hands, right? You shouldn't be focusing on that, right? So with that, let's read the problem statement. So you're given a binary string as consisting of only characters 0 and 1. A string is balanced if it contains equal number of zeros and equal number of ones, right? You can perform at most one swap between any character in S. Then you select a balanced substring from S, right? You need to return an integer representing the maximum length of the balanced substring that you can select, right? Let's take up this substring, right? Uh, Wait a minute, let me copy it. One, four zeros and a one, right? So the string is one, four zeros and a one, right? So what can be the balance substring that we can get? If we replace this one with, let's say, this zero, the string that will be formed is 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. And if you look at this substring, this is a balanced one, right? We'll go slowly on this concept. I don't want you to jump on the solution and understand that, okay, this is the solution and now uh, it is over, right? I want you to think of it, right? We will go slowly in it. Be a little patient while solving this problem because it is a good problem, right? Okay. Let's look at one more test case before we move into the solution. One triple one, and I hope triple one in itself defines that there is no zero. So even if you could replace anything, it will still be 111 only, or only once. That is why the answer is 0 in that case, right? So if you look at the constraints is s dot length can be till less than equal to 1 right? So we need to write a solution which works in big of n log n, right? Or if you can write in big of n or big of n square root of n, right? These are the three possible, almost possible solutions that could be accepted, right? All right. So before we jump into the problem solution, let's look at something which should be understood, right? Let's say I had the first problem statement, the first example which we had, this one, right? In this case, what happens is you could replace any one character. What if, let's first understand, what if we can't swap any characters, right? Let's understand that first. I know that this you have, if you have are trying to solve this, then you might have come across this solution that what will happen if we don't swap the characters, and you might have got a solution that, okay, prefix sum and these and all. Let's look at that, right? Let's say if I had a one, for as of now I'm using prefix sum in my solution, I won't be using it, but just to make you understand that how will the solution look like, I'm using a prefix sum, right? So let's say prefix sum of 1 gives us a plus 1, and whenever we get a 0 we do a minus 1, right? For a 1 we do a plus 1, right? So for 1 we do the plus 1, for 0 we do the minus 1, right? So plus 1 minus 1 becomes 0, right? So we will write a 0 over there. Again 0 minus 1, again a 0 minus 2, again a 0 minus 3, again and 1, so minus 2. Right? Now what happens in these types of problems, initially you will say, okay, the initial value was 0, right? So whenever you got a 0, you will say, okay, the first occurrence of that element defines it, that the substring till that very index, right? After that index means if it is at index I, you will say till I plus 1th index and j is the current index of mine, right? So that substring is valid like this. For this 0, we will say this pointer will mark, okay, this is the first occurrence or the first occurrence of 0, right? So first occurrence of 0 is this position. We will say, okay, if you do a +1, you will get a string that is balanced, that is 1 0, right? For example, if you had -2, you will search the first occurrence of -2, which is at this position. So you will simply say, okay, after this position till the very index which you are standing currently on, that is a valid substring, which is 0 comma 1, right? Okay. So like if you want to take a better example, let's say 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 1, right? So initially it had a 0, 0 -1, -2, -3, -2, -1, 0, -1, 0. So for this 0 index, you will say the first index where you get a 0 is this position, right? You, why are we saying the first position? Because we care about the longest length, right? And the longest length can be found at this position. So we will say, okay, after this very index, whatever the substring that you get is balanced. And if you look closely at it, this has 3 zeros and 4 zeros, and this has 4 ones, right? So ultimately the whole substring is balanced, right? So this is a method when we don't have swaps. So what we do is we create the prefix sum. Means in future you might in any contests or in online assessments you might get to uh, these types of problems where you simply have to think that, okay, if I have got a prefix sum, I will store it, right? We will store it, and if we had already in our map, then that is the first occurrence, right? Then we will simply subtract the distance. Like let's say it had 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So we will simply say 7 minus 0 plus 1 will be the length. 7 minus 0 plus 1 is the length of the string. And if you look, 4 zeros and 4 ones, which is 8, right? So the length we get is 8. So this is when we don't swap, right? All right. What happens if we swap? Now let's try to understand that, right? What happens if we swap, right? So let's say you had a 0 1 0 0 and one more 0, let's say, right? Now let's create the prefix sum also. See, prefix sum won't be used, but it will be very understandable because prefix sum is very, like in this problem statement you will understand how prefix sum is being used, right? So it will give us -1. For this one, you will get a 0, then again a -1, -2, -3, right? So this is the prefix sum. This was the initial string, right? Okay. Now what I'm trying to say is, let's say you wanted this substring to be balanced, right? So in that case, you will ask this one to come at this point, right? Now what happens if you do so? Right, let's look at how the things will, how the tables will turn for this very, for these elements, right? Initially it had a 2 -2 and this has a -3. Let's say you swapped it with 1, right? So what happened is this position had a 0, it was contributing a -1, right? Now you change it to +1, right? Now it will contribute a +1 at that very moment, right? So the total difference will be, initially it was a -1, right? You added a +1, so it again become minus, so difference is -2, right? If it is, let's say, difficult for you to understand, let's take a simple way to understand it, right? So let's say at that means for a subarray, right, for a substring, right? For a substring, let's say the contribution count of ones were, let's say, x, right? And count of zeros was, let's say, y, right? All right. Now what I'm trying to say is, think of this, right? let's say I had whenever a possibility happens is when you had, let's say, three ones, and let's say you had only two zeros, right? And rest element and one zero was outside this index, right? Let's say it had a one, many ones, and it had a zero at this place, right? Now what I'm trying to say is if you pick this element from this place and place it somehow here, then this becomes a balanced substring, right? Means 1 1 1 0 0 0, right? Now see, I thought this approach might be helpful, but now I think it will be a bit more like confusing only. So I'm not, that's why I have not explaining this thing, right? Leave it up as of now. Let's try to understand this, right? So if you like alter this solution, right, means let's say initially you had 1 1 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 1 0, right? So initially it had 1 2 3, then 2, then 1, then again a 3, sorry, again a 2, right? Sorry, 2 3 4 5, right? And now what you said, you picked up this one and put that 1 0 at that position. That means 1 1 1 0 0 0 1 1 1, right? And so on and so forth, whatever the string lengths, right? So now what this value becomes, it becomes 1 2 3 1 2 1 0. Now look at this. It had 2 1 2. Now it became 2 1 0. So what is the difference? Difference is plus minus 2, right? This is what I was talking about, right? So what happened here at this place is, what we saw is if we replace 1 with a 0, right? 1 with 0, then the difference we will get is minus 2, right? Similarly, if we replace 0 with a 1, right, the difference that you will get is a plus 2, right? Don't believe me? Let's look at this. Let's say at this position only, right, you had 1 1 1 and double 0, right, and 1 0. Now let's say I'm saying, okay, replace this 0 with this one, right? So initially we can, for just understanding that the difference will be plus 2, I'm taking that case. Don't take it like that, won't be a solution, but I'm trying to make you understand. It is 1 2 3 2 1 2 and 1, right? Now I'm saying replace this 1 0 with 1. So the array which becomes now a string which becomes now is 1 1 1, right? 0 0 and so on and so forth. Now the sum becomes 1 2 3 4. See, this is here 4 and here it was 2, right? So difference became plus 2. So you understood one thing, that if you could replace either 0 or 1, the difference will either be plus 2 or the difference will be minus 2. Nothing more than that, right? Great. Now let's try to understand. If you have been till this very moment, congrats, you have understood 80% of the solution. Now the problem is very easy, right? Now what my claim is, right? Now what I'm trying to say is, you simply traverse on the map, traverse on the string, right? String s. This is the first step. The second step is you do a count of ones and count of zeros, right? Count of one and count of zeros, right? uh really sorry, count of one and count of zeros, right? Now the third step is you create a map also, right? For any element, if you don't find it in map, then that means it is the first occurrence. Then that means it is a first occurrence of that element. Am I right or wrong? Definitely I'm right. So if it's a first occurrence, right, mark it in map, right? All right, you can, I will do a dry run, don't worry about it. And if it's not the first occurrence, then you can say find the index, find the first occurrence of index, first occurrence of that value, right? Why first occurrence? Because see, if you had one at this place and after that you got some values and again a one, then that means from this to this the string will be valid, right? I hope I don't need to give a proof of it, but still I will give a proof if you want. I am marking it as this needs to be done to you to make it you understand. I will add it in the very last, right? Let's not break the flow of it, right? So you find the first occurrence of that element if it is already present in map, right? And you find the length, right? All right, till this point it is a base case. Base case means if any normal solution would have been came, this would have been the answer, right? Now comes the special case. What is the special case? As I told you that if you got a value, right, then the value plus 2 is also a possibility, right? Is it yes or not? And value minus 2 is also a possibility, right? So when do we get a value plus 2? Means whatever the difference was, not value, let's call it difference. So initially difference was the diff, right? The next thing can be formed is difference plus 2, right? When will the difference plus 2 form? When you replace a 0 with a 1, right? Then at that very case the 0 means it was initially 0, it was contributing minus 1, now you change it to 1, now it is contributing plus 1. So the difference is final, which is 1, minus initial, which is minus 1. So ultimately it becomes plus 2, right? So whenever you convert this 0 to 1, you do a plus 2, right? All right. And there will be a difference minus 2. And when will the different there will be a difference 2, and when that will that happen? When you convert a 0 to a 1 to a 0, right? So whenever a 1 is converted to 0, you will say okay, the difference now is minus 2. All right. So what we will do is, after these cases we will run a special case. Now what is our special case? We will simply say if map dot find, right, map dot find difference plus 2, which is difference, call it, let's call it difference 1, right? This is plus 2 is difference 1, this is marked as difference 1, and let's mark it as difference 2, right? All right. So you will find that difference in map. See, if you could find that difference in map means, what does that mean? Now be a bit active, right? Be active now at this place, right? Because very important part is coming, right? Let me change the color as well. Okay, great. Now what I'm trying to say is, whenever you are trying to find difference 1, right, that means you are trying to do a plus 2. That means you are trying to convert 0 to 1, right? What does this mean? If you had a 0 at that very index, right, let's say you are at ith index, right, and it had a 0, right, then if you want to convert this 0 to a 1, then what do you need to check? You need to check that do I have 1 on my right side, right? And how will you find that? How will you check if you have a 1 on your right side or not, right? So let's say till this you are at this very index, right, ith index. Till this, let's say you had 2 ones, right? And in total string, let's say you had 5 ones. Then can you tell me, do you have ones left or not? Of course you do have ones left, right? Of course. How did you find it? You did you traverse on the whole string? No, you just needed to have a total count. Total count of 1 is, total ones is 7 in this case. Till this very point you have another variable called ones, let's say, and you that will be finding how many ones did we get, right? Like for example, this got 2 ones, right? So 7 minus 2 is 5, right? Means if the value is greater than 0, then that means I have 1 on the right side of my string, right? And if 1 is on the right side, then that means I will be able to replace it. Are you getting it? Right? Let's say, okay, till this point it is clear. Now let's think of what happens if we try to convert 0, right? Let's say till I am still standing on ith index, right? And this is 1, right? And this one I want to convert into 0. Then I need to find in my right side that does 0 exist or not. How will you find it? Similar case, right? Nothing special. Similar case. Check in the right, right? How will you check in the right? Total zeros, total 0 minus current 0. How many zeros we have till this index? If this is greater than 0, that means we have a 0 on the right. And if we have the 0 on the right, we can convert it into a 0, right? And that will make the string balanced, right? See, the problem is not over yet. A small case is left, right? uh, let's discuss the small case first, then we will move to the solution, right? So the small case is, what are we doing? We are traversing on the string, whatever the string is, let's say 0 1 0 0, anything, right? While you are on the ith index, what you are trying to do is trying to search on the right side, trying to search on the right side, right? This is what you are doing, right? But think of this. This might also be a case now that you can find one on the left hand side, right? And take a smaller substring. Like for example, you had, let's say, 0 0 1 1 0 0 0 1, right? And 1 at this point, right? And this side only has a 0, right? If you look closely now, this 3 zeros and this has 4 zeros, and let's say this substring, right? Let me mark it with red, right? So black, okay, no worries. So what do you think of this case? It has 1 2 3 1s and 1 2 3 4 5 zeros, right? You will, when this case happens, right, let's look at the difference array as well. In this case, it will be +1, it will be 0 -1 0 1 0 -1 -2, again a 1 and 0, right? For this 0, if you try to replace this 0 with a 1, right? So what will happen? You will check for if any 0 replaced by 1, how much difference will it contribute? A difference of +2. So we'll say 0 plus 2, right? Does 0 plus 2 exist in this string, right? You will check for it and it does not exist. But if you look at this 0, the occurrence of this 0 is at this point, right? 0 is also here. Means somehow this could have been created, but now it's not possible. But somehow it can be created. We know how, because if we simply pick this one from this place and place it at this point, now the string that will become this string, right? I'm marking it as we go on further. It is 0 1 1 0 0 0 1 1. So 2 4 1s, 4 zeros. See, it is balanced. How we did it? Even though this 0 was at this position, right? We will try to find one on the right side. We try to find one on the right side, but we don't had a one on the right side, right? But we had one on the left side. We have completely missed off, right? So that is what. So what happens is, when we were traversing straight now, when we were traversing from left to right, right? we we were checking on right, we were checking on right, right? That is what we were checking, right? Because till now, number of ones, really sorry, till now hashtag count of ones minus total count of ones, total one minus count of one, right? uh, Really sorry for this, count of 1 minus total ones, right? If this value was greater than 0, what does this mean? Till this point, you say you had 3 1s and total you had 5 1s, right? So the ones which were left were definitely on the righter side, right? But in some case, this might be a problem statement that you can take the one from the left hand side as well, like as we saw, right? But our initial logic didn't help us to think like this, right? Because we were simply traversing from left to right, right? Now what happens is, if you traverse from left to right, it is okay, you can find your answer, right? Find answer. But what happens if you traverse from right to left? Then that case will also be handled, right? Then find answer 2 when you traverse from right to left. How did you traverse from right to left? Simply reverse the string, right? Simply reverse the string, traverse from right to left, so that you don't miss that very case, and you do find your answer 2 and return the maximum of answer 1 comma answer 2, whatever the length which you got, right? And that will be answer, right? Now let's gently look in our small test case to understand this, right? Let's look at this. I hope this logic is clear why we are reversing the array, right? So now let's look at a small test case, right? The test case which is there is 1 0 0 0 0 1, right? So what we will do is, first we count the total number of total ones, right? How many ones are there? Total ones is 2, right? And total 0 is 4, right? Now what we will do is traverse on the string. We got, initially we will say map of 0 is -1 because initially we have a -1, right? Now we will go on this, right? We got a 1, we do a +1. We got a 0, we do a -1, it becomes 0. We got a 0, we do a -1. We got to -2, -3, and -2, right? Now when you got a 0, you simply check in your map, does 0 exist? It says yes, and you will say okay, we can do a value, and the length will be 2, right? So how will you find the length? Length will be the current index, let's call it I, minus map of 0, which is -1. So I minus current index was 1, so 1 minus -1, which is +1, so length is 2, right? Similarly, you move to this index. Now see, doing a dry run for this whole code becomes a bit too heavy, right? Because means even though if I can spend that time, you can do a dry run from your end, but I'm showing you like the case where you will find your answer, right? Like let's say this will give you a correct answer if I'm not wrong. 1 0, you can replace it with 1 and then you will find your answer, right? So let's say we had 4 zeros, right, and a 1, right? So this can be a valid substring. Now how it will be a valid substring? Because when you came to -2, right, you simply did a +2, right? Let's say you did a +2, so difference 2 will be whatever the value was, right? So it is at this point, the value is -2, right? And you do the +2, it goes to index 0, and index 0 is at -1, right? So you won't, from the left side you won't get a 1, right? Okay, what happens if you reverse the array? Reversing the array still keeps it same, so this means this is not a valid index. But how did we get a 4 then? Let's look at that, right? Let me, like, give me a minute. I don't want to reset it, right? Okay, you were on index, so this one. Now right, what I'm trying to say, you were on index, let's say, right? So 1 0 0 0 0 1, right? The sum was 1 0 -1 -2. So when you were at -2, you will say okay, -2 difference 2 will be adding a +2. So -2 +2, which will be 0. You will find in your map, does 0 exist? Yes, 0 exists at index -1, right? Okay, now we will say, okay, does on my right side I have a 1? How I find on the right side? I have already explained, count of 1 till this very moment and minus total count. If that is greater than 0, then that means 1 exists on my right hand side. Now if that happens, what we will say, okay, 1 exists. Now the answer will be 0 1 2 3. So 3 minus minus of 1, so 3 minus minus 1, which is 4. So the answer we got is 4, and that is the maximum, right? So I hope the problem statement was clear to you, the approach was clear to you. Let me one more time write all the steps, right, so that you can understand it, right? So first thing was find in map, right? If you get in map, right, what will be the answer? Answer will be plus equal to, like let's say you had found in the map, you will say answer will be plus equal to whatever the index is, right? So let's call it, the index is known as end, so answer will be I minus index, right? That will be your length, right? If you don't get in map, don't get, first add it in map, right? Now after adding in map, we have seen that okay, this case are independent, or we can say special cases. Whatever the difference is, difference plus 2, you will try to find in map, as we did find in map. Whenever we do a difference plus 2 means we are converting 0 to 1, right? And if we are converting 0 to 1, that means we need to search on right side that 1 exists or not, right? Or not. Similarly, we can do for difference -2 as well, right? And find on the right side, right? But this doesn't allow us to search on the left side. Just to make things simple, what we do is find answer 1, just using the simple string s, and then we find answer 2 by reversing the string, right? I hope the logic for reversing the string was clear to you. Now let's look at the code, right? So what we did is, I think I should, yes, I am able to zoom it, right? So reverse the string, right? There are two strings, s and reverse, we are reversing the string as well, right? Answer 1 will be solved by the solve function, answer 2 will be find by the solve function, and we will return the maximum of answer 1 from answer 2, right? Now let's look at the solve function, right? Wait a minute. I hope this is still being recorded. Yes, it is, right? All right. So now let's look at it. So what we did was we first created the size of n, total 0, total 1, and maxi. We created an unordered map, and if it is a 0, total 0 is incremented, else total 1 is incremented. Till this, I don't think you have a problem. Map of 0 is -1 because that is very obvious. If you had a string something called 0 comma 1, 0 1 only, then this is also a balanced string, right? So for that reason you are storing 0, map of 0 as -1, right? Great. So now we said int 0 is 0, right? We are counting 0 and counting 1 as well. If s of I is 0, then 0 plus plus, else 1 plus plus. And what will be the difference? Difference will be count of 1 minus count of 0, right? So we'll find the difference in the map. If we don't find the difference in the map, we will simply map it to I, right? Like let's say the first occurrence of 1, right? So if we don't find it in map completely and we reach the end of the map, we simply mark map of difference as ith index, right? Else you will find the length. How will you find the length? I minus map of difference, wherever the map of difference marks as, right? And maxi will be max of maxi comma length. Till this point we have not done any swaps, right? Now swaps happens, right? What happens when you do a difference plus 2? Wait, let me grab my keyboard real quick, right? So what happens if you do a difference plus 2? That means you are converting your 0 into 1, right? So converting 0 into 1 gives us difference 1. Similarly, if you convert your 1, right, 1 converted to 0, then that means you are doing difference minus 2, right? So when you do a difference plus 2, right, that is difference 1. Let's look at that case. So if total 1 minus count of 1 till now, right, count of 1 till now, if it is greater than 0, that means we have a 1 on the right side. If you have a 1 on the right side, then you can convert this 0 into 1, right? So we will find map.find difference 1. If that difference exists in your map, then you can say, okay, I'm good to go. I do have that difference in my map. I had a 1 on the right side of my current index. Now I can find the index. What is the index? Index will be map of difference 1, right? And what will be the length? Length will be I minus whatever the index we found that difference to be at, right? I hope this makes sense to you. If not, let's quickly look at it, right? Let's say you had 0 0 0 1 1, right? For this -1 -2 -3 -2 -1. So for this -1 you had a you won't have it. Let's say for this -2 you had this element -2 plus 2, right? So that means you are trying to convert this element. Wait a second, let me first make it clear, because I don't want to, at the very end, I don't want to make things messy and make you not understand it. -1 -2 -3 -2 and then -1, right? Now at this -2 you will search that does 0 exist, right? It says yes, 0 exists. So for this 1 to be converted to 0, right, you will search, means -2 exists on, means let's say difference is -2, right? Difference now is -2, you did a difference plus 2, right, which will send you to an index that will be a 0, right? Now you will search in map that does 0 exist. It says yes, it do exist, right? If it does exist, then you will say, okay, it exists, does on my right side I have the authority to convert this 1 to 0. How is the authority check? You will simply check on the right side, does 0 exist? It says no. Then you will say, okay, then there is no use of it. right? So that is what we are doing in this case, right? We are finding the total one is minus number of ones at that very index. If that is greater than 0 and we found that index in our map, then we can simply store it in our answer, right? The length will be I minus index. Similarly, for total 0 minus 0, if it is greater than 0 and map dot find difference 2 is not equal to end, means you found it that element in your map, then you can say index is this and length will be I minus index, and we are simply updating our maxi and returning the maxi. That's it. That's the core of the problem statement. I hope the problem statement was understandable to you. If you talk about the time complexity, it is big of 2 into n, right? Because we are running the loop twice, so it will be 2 big of 2 into n. And the space complexity is big of 1. We are not using any prefix sum or anything. We are not using binary search, nothing. So there's time and space complexity remains as it is. So I hope the problem was clear to you. If you have any doubts, please do ask in the comments. I will be helping you out for that. And please do like, share, and subscribe. It was a tough problem, so it would be very nice if you do so. Thanks for watching.